Injuries are beating down the Penguins. Parlay got beat down in his fantasy football league. And kickers are about to get crazy in the Pro Bowl. What do you think, Parlay?
If you ain't first, you're last.
That doesn't even make sense. You could be second, third. Hell, you can even be fifth.
In a fantasy league of 8, I was second, which is just as good as last.
Besides, you made money.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Thanks, fans, for tuning into the Spreads Week 17 Friday Night Insight. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with the best co-host ever, Johnny Parlay, producer extraordinaire, Jay Dash, and alcoholic Big Easy.
Don't even want to be here.
Loves it here.
Nothing else to do.
Just came to collect his paycheck.
Nothing
That's
else
it.
to do. Eat that beer cheese.
Liquid paycheck.
PPBG. Hashtag beer cheese.
That's
whatever.
it. That's what we got to get trending. Hashtag beer cheese. What about the Pittsburgh Penguins? They've been struggling a little bit, I guess, in their last couple games. They're 5-2-3 in their last 10. The Pens are 22-7-5 on the year with 49 points. That's second in the whole entire league. That's first in the Eastern Conference. Crosby's had the mumps. Bennett's always hurt. They thought Fleury might have the mumps. I think Grice has the mumps.
Yeah, Grace and one other guy has the mumps.
Everybody has the mumps, and yet we're still in first place.
I got the mumps,
You do have the mumps.
but I showed up. I didn't take no games off.
He's mump. He's mump. He's mump. He's in my head.
I watched a couple hockey games, and you said, hey, we got to start talking hockey. So I was watching it, and then when the Steelers clinched that playoff spot, it just went on a back burner for me again. Sorry, but
Yeah,
I have no hockey input for you right now. I can't. Steelers, man.
Around these parts, you really don't talk hockey until the Steelers are either mathematically eliminated or realistically eliminated, and
Just
that ain't happening yet.
Leave it up to Mark Madden.
Gonna be.
I mean,
I
2 or
love
3
hockey.
weeks.
I don't care if the Steelers are undefeated. I'm still going to watch Pens hockey.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about it. They're impressive right now with all the injuries and everything that's going on with them. Still playing hard, still winning. And it's obviously the new coaches keeping his house together there.
Yeah, new coaches. The addition of some of these new players like Komu and Downey and Christian Eroff. The Pens, they have just enough to keep this ship above water through all these injuries. Malkin's leading the team with 41 points after having a slow start to the year. Crosby still got 37 points after getting the mumps when he should have been vaccinated when he was like 3 years old. I mean, that's what happens in Canada,
streak.
man. See, everybody wants to be a socialist. Oh, Canada's got free health care. Yeah, they got free health care. They just don't give you any health care. He didn't even get a mump shot. Dude's 30 years old and he has the mumps. But
Is
you got
he that old?
No, he's not 30 yet.
Okay, well, it's still funny.
You Chris Letang's having a big year this year. He has 8 goals and 15 assists already. He's been battling a little bit of injuries again this year, which is a little frustrating when it comes to him. His shots are a little more accurate than they have been. Early in his career, he just fired the puck at the net, and it would go all over the place like Happy Gilmore.
Like Dupuis would do.
Yeah, he's more structured in what he's doing. I remember when Dupuis... He would skate down the ice at 100 miles an hour and then just wind up and fire it 2 feet away from the goaltender.
Man, was that frustrating.
Oh, my God.
He's certainly turned it around.
Yeah, you gotta love Duper. Poor guy always getting hurt, though.
Yep,
No,
always. But
what's he got, a blood clot?
The more, he's got all kinds of stuff.
The blood clot.
One of which is that. But I don't know, the better this team looks, the more I go back on my thinking that Bosma was a decent coach. Because this new guy Johnson, he's not working with that much different of a team, and he's certainly getting better results.
I don't know if I want to say Bosman's a bad coach. When he came into Pittsburgh from Wilkes-Barre Scranton, he was exactly what they needed.
I thought he was great. I liked him a lot. I'm just saying with this new regime, they're certainly not making him look good when you think about it and when you go backwards.
Well, I think the biggest thing is with NHL, there aren't a lot of teams that keep coaches very long. 3 to 5 years is pretty much a shelf life for a coach with one team. It's almost recyclable, and the players seem to just tune them out after so long.
You gotta be a student. I mean, you gotta be really involved, and you have to come up with new ways and. You
have to adjust.
It's hard to be. It's got to be hard to be a hockey coach.
Well, we'll really
that game is
it.
so fast paced, And if you don't have the talent, that's one thing. But
The talent's been there.
the talent's there, and so you can really see what will happen with the style of coaching. And so far, so good.
Well, we'll learn a lot about Johnny Boy when the playoffs come around because that's all that matters, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pens have dominated the regular season for 5 to 8 years now, so it's not as impressive as other people would be. You know, if Columbus was playing this well, they'd be burning the city down. They would be so excited. It's all about the playoffs. The Pens are going to get there. We know they're going to get there, barring catastrophic injuries to this team. Will Johnson's style work in the playoffs? I think it will. It's still yet to be seen. He's never been a head coach at the NHL level. But I like how he makes adjustments in-game compared to Baalsma, who just always wanted to get to his game. That was his famous saying, we got to get to our game, get to our game. Let's do a 35-foot stretch pass across the zone, get it picked off, and let the other team have a 3-on-1 against Fleury, and then everybody complain that Fleury blows the game for us. The style of play didn't suit the players anymore. They're much better with a defensive mind in the game, controlled breakouts. They move as a unit, no more long stretch passes, a little bit more dump and chase when they need it. To me, it's the best style to play for the playoffs, but they have to do it in the playoffs to make it work.
One last note: the third jerseys they wear, the deep black and gold throwback from the '90s. They might as well just stay with those because
They're the
Love them
sickest.
jerseys.
they're the greatest. That's the greatest looking jersey of any sport.
Well, I'll tell you one style
So
of play
nice.
that did not work in the playoffs was Johnny Parlay's fantasy team.
Yeah, put the
Because I
worst
got-
players in and lose. Great strategy.
Best players and lose. I got ripped this week. Andrew Luck put up a career low 2. He'll never put up less than that. I assure you that much. But he must have knew Parlay was in the Super Bowl, and I don't know what he was doing. His receivers certainly weren't doing him any favors. They were dropping stuff like it was hot.
He didn't
pans.
even have T.Y. Hilton.
No, it was brutal. It was a bloodbath. I kept saying all week, all I got to do is match my opponent, Jason Mad Money Payne's quarterback, who was Peyton Manning, who threw 4 picks, and you would think that he would be in single
The
digits.
one with 2
but
points,
No.
yeah.
Still 24 for Peyton. I just wanted to match Peyton all week, and far from that.
Didn't get it.
Matt Money, was he gracious in victory?
Jason Payne is gracious in everything.
He was very gracious. There was no trash talk. There was no
No.
little
Not like Justin False.
No.
nothing about nothing. He was very gracious in victory.
Nothing.
And he was in first place all year long, right? And he just dominated the league.
It was one of those
That was a
situations where it worked out.
spread
fantasy-wise.
sweep by
Yep.
Mad Money Payne.
The
Well
best,
done.
The best team won, and that tends to not happen in fantasy, which is why our esteemed host Jim Sella retired for fantasy football because he thought it was bogus. He's
Bogus.
Now, how all of a sudden is
When
Payne,
Auto
Payne
False
the
can win.
fantasy powerhouse now?
He's a
It's
guru.
been,
He's always
It's
been.
been like the last 3 years.
He just knows how to draft.
He
He
I,
got that
He loves it.
smartphone.
I think he's a Sports
Oh,
Center
yeah.
junkie, is
Once-
what I think. I
once
think
he-
he watches every episode of Sports Center on repeat.
Once
every
he got
night.
that smartphone, he really boistered
on
his
it, dude.
fantasy game up.
He's scary. He's a force.
He's a fun.
But I don't know. This is 2 years.
Well, who else let you down? Well, you got Murray
DeMarco
broke his
Murray
hand.
Broke his hand, but I
that's-
still had to play him because
You have to.
I was
got you
listening-
something.
He got me 11, but I had Frank Gore on the bench. But who's gonna leave? Who's
You
gonna
think-
play Frank Gore? He's
Well,
terrible.
he
You
was
think
garbage
Murray
all
broke
year,
his
that's what
hand
you said.
slapping that chick, like his roommate's chick that he was banging? I think that's how he really broke his hand.
That's what I read. But I listened to the Spreads
Breakdown.
fantasy breakdown show.
Dash's
and Jay Dash
fantasy
said I gotta
segments.
go with Murray, and there was no way I wasn't playing him. But this makes 2 years in a row where I've been a bridesmaid and not a bride. Second place.
Who
It's
was
just
your,
getting ridiculous.
Second running back.
Murray.
I had Gore. Well, I had Joik Bell. He put up like 14.
Imposter.
But whatever it was. But either
Gates
way,
played well for you. What
Yeah.
was just the quarterback? That was the big thing.
the
Then, huh?
quarterback was the biggest thing, and he had ODB, Odell Beckham, and raped me.
Old dirty.
To be honest, now that I'm looking at the players that you didn't play, Frank Gore with 26 points and Charles Clay, tight
But
end.
I still picked the right tight end because
you
I had
still,
Gates.
You still okay, but you got lucky there.
Well, there's
Well,
no
can't
way
you
I was
play
playing
Gates,
Frank Gore. He
or
had
couldn't
double
you play your
digits.
tight end at your other flex position?
I could have done that,
That's
but who would
that's
do
scary.
that?
Yeah.
I would do that.
You wouldn't do that.
I want to get kickers out of the league.
Well, either way, I think my team name next year was going to have to be the Buffalo Bills because I keep losing.
Circle in the
Super Bowl.
wagon.
Well, I'm going to stay critical of you. I mean, who'd you flex? Who'd
next
you flex?
statement.
Trey Mason. You flexed Trey Mason.
Trey Mason because I woke up to Julian Edelman being out, which I did
Yeah.
not know. I woke
Okay.
up to that, so that was happy Sunday.
Well, why do you
Well,
got,
I get-
why is Asiata on the bench then? He was just for show?
I text-
Because he put up 21.
I text Jim when you were having your party.
Trying to tell him
and
to get
told
him in the
him
lineup.
to tell you to take Edelman out because he was out.
Oh, I yelled it across the room.
He didn't tell me that at the spread Christmas party.
You
We
were
had
bowing to your fans over in the other side of the
staff.
room.
The argument could be made that if you did put a couple of prayers in your lineup, that
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense to do.
No,
I
I
mean, he
picked
should have
up-
kept Colin Kaepernick all season and played him this week. Does that make sense?
No.
And I had Asiata. I picked him
Kaepernick's
up
garbage.
strictly because Murray was questionable all week, so I just picked him up as a safety net, left him on the bench. But, I mean, you got to go with the
Yeah, you
Top
got to
the
go with
better
what
player.
got you there.
right.
So Payne beat you. You didn't beat yourself.
I'm fine with saying that. I'm fine with saying that.
Okay.
I'm fine with saying Andrew.
Well,
Luck
he told
beat me.
us. He told us Payne's lineup last week, and that team is beast mode.
He's
When
unreal.
you got Peyton Manning at quarterback, unless he's on my team where he puts up points all year long, and then you get in the playoffs and he puts up 5 like Luck did to Johnny.
Well, here's to the fantasy
good.
season.
That's
it was
right.
it was well done.
And to
I'm glad it's over.
next year we may go with a staff
Oh, next
fantasy.
year we will have a staff
And
fantasy
next year
league.
with the championship belt, it's already set in
That's
stone.
right. We're gonna have a championship belt set up.
high stakes.
Screw that trophy you made. Burn, your trophy's beat. You got to win the title. And there's going to be no kickers in this league. No kickers.
High
Please
stakes.
Dash is in a league with
Well,
no kickers.
if there's
and
no
it's the
kickers,
best.
there's 2 flexes then.
Right.
We're gonna have
Oh,
all
What
I'd
you
work
do
with
is
that.
you have a third receiver.
we're gonna have all kinds of funky
See?
rules.
3 receivers.
Nah.
Blowing it up.
I'd rather
The
go
extra
2
flex sucks because then somebody's going to be screwed out of running backs, man. It's hard to get running backs.
How about
You're hard to get running backs.
all three? Let's just do a strictly kicker league.
Only kickers, yeah. You got everybody draft a kicker, and whoever gets the best one wins.
That's garbage. Now you're talking crazy.
Are we going to do a league where you get to pick a defensive player? I've never done that.
I still don't want to
I
do
did
that.
that, man.
it's too
way
much.
too much.
Way
What
too
about
much.
the suggestion from our Baltimore affiliate, Mark Sully? He wants us to do an auction league.
Auction
I
league?
like auction leagues.
Yeah, we can do it all. We'll do it all
We'll have
kinds
to
of.
I'm
have
no
him
good at math.
via
I don't-
Skype one
I don't
of these
understand
days.
it. Do I have to have a calculator next to me while we
No,
do an
you-
auction draft?
No, John's
say
got
you
his
start with-
abacus.
I have a
You'll start with 200, it'll say, and
Well, okay.
you just gotta
And how
bid
much does
money.
Peyton
Like
cost?
I'll throw out. Let's say I pick LaShawn McCoy. I throw him out there. Everybody gets to bid on him. Whoever wins the bid gets to take
So
him.
but is everybody starting with the same amount?
Yeah.
And
So
what's
everyone
the-
starts with $200, and first pick overall, McCoy, you put up 20. If someone puts
It's
up
usually
21,
around 50 some if he's the top guy. You know what I mean?
so it takes that
Yeah,
much.
for the top
to
few
get
guys,
us
but then
for the first
you
pick.
got to be smart, and in the end, you can get some good players for a
20
dollar.
here, 20
you
here
know
for
what I
McCoy,
mean?
21, 20 here,
Really?
22,
Yeah.
22, 22.
So now I have to put in Wall Street with the NFL. I can't do it.
It's not
Well,
hard.
if Charlie
man.
Sheen can do it, I think you can do it.
Well, yeah,
Winning.
it sounds fun. We'll look into it.
Yeah, we got a lot of time to prep.
Plenty of
See
time.
what you do? Do you remember that Adrian Peterson who played for the Bears? People would throw him out real quick, and people would hurry up and bid like $40 on him, and then you get the Chicago Bears Adrian Peterson
Nice.
for $40 and get screwed over.
Fans of the show, you can let us know what you think about auction league drafts. You
Yeah,
can
hit us up on Twitter, bet_the_spread. If you're in an auction league draft and you like it or don't like us, let us know why.
If you're in an all-kicker league, let us know how that's going. Because kicking is the new NFL. I'm telling
Hit
you.
us up at that'sbeat.com.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl, they're even all about the kickers. They're going to tighten the uprights, I think.
Well, they
What do
have.
you mean?
They're,
For the Pro
they're
Bowl,
shrinking
little
the uprights
experiments.
to match their tight asses. As kickers, man, they're all a bunch of weirdo, anal.
Like Arena League,
They
they're just
gotta
gonna have
stay
a-
on their own sideline. Nobody's allowed to come near them. You can't talk to them. They gotta have different color shoes, and somebody's gotta spit on them before they walk out there. They're a bunch of freaking
I mean,
weirdos.
is kicking getting that much better percentage-wise? Is that why they're doing
Well,
this? Or do they want more
I
people
think
to go for it on
it's for
fourth
the
down?
extra point. The extra point converts it like 99.2% of the time, It used to only be like 90.
What they should do
1 or 92.
is just put up a big, tall one pole, and you got to hit the pole. If not, you're screwed. You get
That's
no
perfect.
points.
What if you get the most athletic players on your team and you have to climb the pole and retrieve a flag from the top of it to get 1 point?
That might make the games a little longer, and they're long
I
enough
think
already.
they're going for safety at some point too, and people climbing poles.
Well, I'd like to see
If they-
J.J. Watt climb up a 50-foot pole and punch Aaron Rodgers in the face and knock him off and steal a flag.
Think about it in college. If they only had one pole, only like a gang of 100 fans would be able to take it down instead of like a gang of 1,000.
Why
So
do they rip the goalpost
if
down?
that would become popular in the NFL, your one post theory, and if that would ever get adopted to college, man, they'd have to be paying for polls weekly.
Oh yeah.
What if you
Pole
kept them as wide as they are now, but put a net in the middle of it, and then there's like little holes in the net, and you have
Colored
to get it through
zones.
each one, and it's different amount of points.
How about instead of kicking a football through it, you have to kick a basketball through?
That would be easier, don't you think?
That would work.
They should just let
don't
fans
know.
hang off the sides of it and try to block it.
What if LeBron James gets to jump from behind the defensive line and try to block your kick every time?
I think he got games on Sundays also. I don't think that's gonna work.
But this is serious. They're gonna squeeze the uprights in.
Yeah, they're trying
What,
it
for
in
the
the
Pro
Pro
Bowl.
Bowl.
No,
Yeah.
but you said for extra kicks. Is it just for
No,
in
it's all
general?
game.
No, it's
all-
for the whole
it's all
game,
game.
but it's because the extra point has become so easy. It's basically an automatic play. The
How-
NFL doesn't
how
like
could
it
that be? What,
because
why would they-
kickers are a lot better now, man.
I don't think it's gonna make an extra point.
Yeah,
any
what are you talking-
harder.
one
It's gonna be
point?
make field goals a
They
lot
did it in the
harder.
gonna make everything
preseason,
harder.
and the percentage dropped by
No,
1 or
they
2%.
they moved the
They moved it
position.
back. They've moved the kick point back.
Bringing it in would affect.
No, I see
everything.
Haley could kick an extra point no matter how close together they are.
I like it, to be honest. Why not make it harder to make a field goal?
Well, dude, kickers are getting paid more than running backs nowadays.
Hey,
so
go
let's
for it
make
on
them
fourth
work
down.
for their
That's
money.
also
That's
what
what
you
it's gonna
said.
do. It's gonna
That's
be
what I
runs.
like too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Make
lot more of
plays.
that.
I'd rather see a team make plays than a douche come out and just flip his leg up.
And then the over-unders better go up at least 10.
Way back in the day,
Yeah.
field goals
Yeah.
actually used to be worth 5 points.
Yeah.
Good lord.
When was that?
Way back in the day.
Way back
40s,
before
30s.
we were born, right?
People
Yeah,
were getting their
definitely.
legs amputated all the time for green.
But what if they put the field goal post on a car and somebody from the other team just drove
to
it around
drive
the
it,
field
yeah.
and you had to...
Like the quarterback challenge when you had to hit those moving targets on Quarterback Club.
Well, we can always get our opinion from the fans.
That's
Tell us
right.
what you think about what they should do with the NFL.
Fans,
Yeah.
what do you think?
T-Lot, what's your feeling on this? We want to know what you think.
Eddie
Yeah.
B's got it on lockdown.
And then Spinner Man also, he's our stat man. He got all the stats. He needs to crunch the numbers, find out what the percentages go when it comes to field goals and the distance apart and back and forward.
I think
Get
if-
on that.
If you're in the red zone, you shouldn't be allowed to kick a field goal. You should have to go for it.
Yeah.
Screw field goals.
Just change rules
I
completely.
hate kickers.
Man,
Only outside the 20 are you allowed to kick a field goal.
I
heavy.
like it.
We're
Once
heavy
you're
on
inside of
kick.
20, you got to use all 4 of your downs to make it in.
Please
and if you
believe.
don't, you get 0 points.
This is some
That's
heavy.
No, but then wouldn't you'd have teams like avoiding getting into the
Hey.
20 or something. That'd be so weird.
People will be going big trying to score from outside the red zone.
This is hot and heavy kicker talk.
This is you got
Chore talk.
me all fired up
We
about it
got
because the possibilities are endless. It's
We got
craziness.
viewers dropping like flies right now. If
Yeah,
we keep
you
talking
got-
about kicking.
You got 50-year-olds saying they should never change the kick game, ruining football.
Well, I want to talk about
Whatever.
something we
you
touched
brought it
on.
up anyway. Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to talk about something we touched on a week or two ago. That movie, The Interview with James Franco and Seth Rogan. North Korea threatened to blow up a bunch of theaters and kill a bunch of people if we showed this movie in theaters. Sony bowed down. Their infrastructure got hacked. All their mainframe was compromised, just like Myrtle Beach.
Hashtag mainframe compromise.
But Sony decided to put the movie out anyway on Christmas Day. It showed in a few select theaters. Christmas Eve, it went online.
Here in the city,
And
too. Big
By,
ups.
by Christmas morning, when I woke up, I was able to watch it #legally on my laptop. It was a pretty good movie.
What's the review there, James?
I laughed my ass off, and I can tell you one thing. I know why North Korea was so mad. Whenever you've seen Team America World Police, if anybody had seen that movie, they made Kim Jong-il. They made fun of him a lot, but he still was like a ruthless dictator. They made Kim Jong-un seem like a metrosexual. It was hilarious.
Don't spoil it for me, because I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Oh, yeah.
The ending was good too.
I'm going to
Yeah.
wear my lead vest, though, because Johnny Parley's he's a commodity around here. We
Yeah, you gotta be
we
careful.
can't be losing
You
him.
live in the hood, so you better watch out.
When
Parlay.
people, no one should get so up and roar about a movie. It's a parody. It's a comedy. What are you supposed to do? Laugh.
Right.
It's
If you
just
don't
about
like
laughter.
it, make a movie about us and make fun of us. We
You
don't
don't like
care.
it. You don't like it. Rip Obama down and say he looks like a doofus.
55% of the country will agree with you.
The exit polls are showing that he's very doofusy.
Doofusy. The movie was good. It was a good James Franco, Seth Rogen film. It wasn't
Yeah.
as good as Pineapple Express, I think.
It was up
you know,
close.
some of the nostalgia may be wearing off a little bit from Pineapple Express. It's been so long since it came
Well,
out.
potheads like Pineapple Express better than they'll like the interview, but non-smokers will enjoy the interview more than the
The
Pineapple
Interview
Express.
is a good movie.
That's what the
Politicians
stats, that's
will
what
love
the
it.
stats, Yeah, that's what the stats tell me on
What's
that
the
movie.
spread on that one?
Franco, Rogen, great performance. Kim Jong-un, the guy who played him, hilarious.
Good movie. It was
Eminem's in the movie. It's
Oh,
funny.
the beginning. I totally forgot about that.
That was good. I don't want
Eminem-
to spoil it, but Eminem, the
Eminem's
rapper,
humor.
not the M&Ms from the Santa Claus commercial.
Right on, right on.
Good look,
good.
Eminem. That was pretty funny. I mean,
Please believe,
if like, let's say Franco just walked up to him and said, "Hey, you're gonna be in this movie," blah blah blah. It was pretty funny for him to do that. It got me started laughing from the very beginning.
Follow us on Twitter, Eminem, and Rogan, and Franco. We need some followers.
We
Get
follow
on
all
it.
you guys. Follow us back.
Good movie,
That's
Paul.
right. Well, I don't see you following us on Twitter, T-Lot. Where you at, bro?
You may not be on Twitter.
Well, get a Twitter account, T-Lot. We need your support, bro.
Loves it on Facebook, though. Well, Parlay, you said something earlier today about the NFL scheduling and how you like division games being more at the end of the year here
Yeah,
this
did
last
they-
week.
Did Goodell do something right?
They avoid that game where everybody sits their best players because they don't, they got nothing to play for. These games mean something. We
What
got
is there
Pittsburgh,
about-
Cincinnati for the division.
Big
We
time.
got Detroit, Green Bay for the division.
Nice.
We got Carolina, Atlanta for the division, even though both those teams are under 500.
Still be a big game.
Unreal.
A couple
3
teams
games.
playing for their seeding still in the playoff. I think the only thing that's set is New England's number 1.
New England doesn't have to play for anything. Dallas really doesn't have to play for anything.
Indy
and
doesn't.
Indy doesn't have to really play for anything.
What about the NFC? Is that all locked up? I don't think.
Dallas? Just Dallas.
Just
pretty
Dallas?
much. Yeah.
What about the Seahawks? Have they gotten the number 1 seed?
No, I think they have to win this week, which shouldn't be too bad. I think
Arizona also
Arizona
has
would
to lose.
Yeah, Arizona would have to lose. Or
Well,
something.
they're on their 15th string quarterback, so I don't see that being.
Well, they're
Well
too
done to the
surprising.
Seahawks. Just briefly, really put it together when people
Yeah.
were. It was almost like a Patriots situation. People talking down on them. Oh, repeat. They just come out and been handling
Well,
teams.
I think it's hard to hate on the
And
Seahawks.
They
if
take
anyone
the
can
number
do it.
1. You might as well see them in the Super Bowl again this year.
They're
Yeah, I
strong.
don't
That's
know.
hard.
Every team in the
Who's
playoffs.
going to go up there and beat them? Dallas? Roma
Arizona's beating them there.
Roma be fumbling that snap.
Every team that's in
Arizona's
the
not
playoff has
going
struggled
anywhere.
at some point. And I said this last week. Just like you said, Easy, Seattle struggled for a little bit. New England struggled for a little bit. Green Bay can't win on the road.
Can Green Bay
Denver's
win in
struggling
Seattle?
right now. Can Green Bay win in Seattle?
Probably
Yes.
not.
I
Indy's
think so.
struggling right now for sure.
Yeah, Indy was on fire early in the year. They were.
Can
now they're
Dallas
struggling.
win in Seattle?
No, I hate Tony Romo. He can't win
Why?
a T-ball game.
Why? Go a little bit. Explain to me a little bit why you think Green Bay can win there and not
Because of
Dallas.
the
When you-
quarterback.
You just said, well, okay.
Aaron
Well,
Seattle
Rodgers.
I don't know.
shuts
Aaron
down
Rodgers is an
quarterbacks.
MVP caliber quarterback. Tony Romo's
Murray-
along for the ride this year.
Murray over Lacey.
People were saying that Romo should get MVP consideration.
down to run
for
game.
what? He's had these same players for years and he's been garbage. They stopped letting him run the offense and they started focusing on the running game and stopped letting Romo throw 15 picks every 2 games, and that's why they're doing good. If anybody deserves MVP consideration from Dallas, it's Murray, not Romo.
Romo has
is
been
garbage.
Romo has been in beast mode recently. He has like three touchdowns or more in 6 of his last 7 games or something like that. And actually, I do like Dallas at Seattle. Dallas is 7-0 on the road this season.
I don't know. I
No.
just don't see Seattle shuts
Jeez.
down quarterbacks. That's straight up what they do.
That's hard.
I think they're the scariest team in the NFL right now. It's the
Dallas?
Seahawks.
No,
Oh,
Seattle.
Seahawks.
They shut down
Yeah,
quarterbacks. They make them
we're
look
on
like
agreement with
they
that.
make them look like third string college quarterbacks. Honestly, I think Seattle and Pittsburgh are the 2 scariest teams right now.
How does Russell Wilson do it?
Steelers are definitely trending upward.
He is a true professional.
He's-
Would
I
you
like
agree?
Russell
I
Wilson
agree.
very much.
I-
Yes.
He's
Like I
he's
was
a
gonna
young,
say, I
young
started to say
professional.
earlier, it's hard to hate on the Seahawks, but I know one
Dude's
person who can do it.
garbage.
He's sitting to my right.
Russell Wilson's garbage.
Russell Wilson is the Jeter
He's a
of
glorified
football.
Doug Flutie.
No way.
That's all he is.
He's a young Derek Jeter of the NFL
Young
right
Derek
now.
Jeter.
Straight up, dude. I'm telling you.
Terrible.
He's an
He
excellent
probably
decision maker.
He probably gets that ass.
He doesn't make mistakes. He makes great decisions. He doesn't ever lose his composure.
He's
Unlike-
athletic.
He's the exact opposite of Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
He's Steve McNair, man. That's
He's
about
won a
it.
Super Bowl too. He won more Super Bowl,
He
and
might
he's better
have-
than Peyton Manning.
And he better go to the. He better
Don't say
go
that to Dash. You
Yeah,
can't compare
he's
Super Bowls
smart.
to
He's
Dash.
seen-
hashtag better than Manning. Go. You better.
That's
He's,
it.
he's heading to the jeweler this week because I think he's gonna get sized for another ring. I really
Take-
feel like.
I'll take Peyton over Wilson any day.
Whatever.
But tons of games with implications this week, and every single team plays this Sunday. I think that only happens once a year.
Oh,
And-
No,
big
first couple
Sunday.
games,
It's
first
like
2 games.
Christmas.
Of
Oh
the
yeah,
first
first
2
couple.
weeks.
Well, no, because there's Monday and Thursday games. So
Oh, okay,
every
yeah, you're
single
right.
team's playing Sunday. So wax up that recliner, get the leather conditioner out.
Hey, I'm glad I got that Sunday ticket. I'm going to be leaving work a half hour early this week, I think.
And nice the flex in that Steeler game then to prime time made it really huge.
Believe that. We're doing it big here at the Spread Studio for that
we're
game.
busting out the leftover beer cheese, ham.
Using my new dip tray, using some new dishes I got for Christmas.
Shout out, mom.
Shout out to moms hooking me up for Christmas this year. Parley, how was your Christmas? We didn't even talk about
Well,
Christmas,
we had
man.
the spread staff party last
Oh,
Saturday.
that was a great party.
Up the hook craziness. I mean,
Easy was passed out on my
representing.
couch.
Too
it
much.
was just a wild night.
Drinking meatballs.
It was
Dr-
a wild
he,
night.
yeah,
I don't know
Easy.
why
How
I
was
did that.
that Crown Ball?
I don't know why I did that.
Why would you dunk a meatball in Crown Royal, eat it, and then take the shot?
I'm sure someone had to have told me to do it.
I'm
Or
pretty sure you just
people were
dropped the
egging me
meatball
on.
in there and went, ha, bro.
Spread tradition.
I put the meatball right in and took it down. Yeah, well,
Loved
because
it.
I love Crown Royal and I love meatballs.
Yeah,
so
see?
Crown
how could I said to my at that time like 6 hours deep into the Christmas party, dude. I said to myself, I love meatballs, I love Crown. Do it all at once. It should be the best thing ever. It was close to the worst thing ever.
You hear that,
Yeah,
Crown?
that
And I've
makes
never
no
done it
sense. That's
myself.
like me saying I love chocolate milk and I like being clean, so I'm taking chocolate milk showers.
There you go. That'd be good. I'd be drinking the milk as I was taking a shower.
Well, you
Chocolate
hear us,
milk
Crown.
sauce.
Why don't you sponsor the Spread Christmas party next year, Crown? We'll put banners up.
Please believe.
Across Parlay's entryway.
East McKeesport
in the
gets
foyer.
shut down. The police have to direct traffic. Dude, you can't even get down Parlay Street.
So let's do it. Let's do it,
Neighbors
Crown.
leave
Sponsor
for the
us.
night. They know when it's happening. They go to different cities because they just can't
Did
handle
want to
it.
say though, East McKeesport was very nicely lit up with Christmas lights.
Oh.
Very fancy.
Your street was well done.
Beautiful
Like,
little town.
Beautiful little houses lit up. The Christmas lights there look nice.
But it was a great time. The staff came out and they showed.
Me and Jeff Keel dominated at beer pong.
It was just a great time for all. We want to keep the tradition alive. It's all about spread, baby.
Please believe. We're going to have to spell out the spread with all the dips next year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But let's make some big bets this week.
All right,
and we
picks
can
of
put
the
them
week.
towards. We'll put them
Bum,
towards
bum.
our next year's party.
That's where the money comes
go,
from.
Go big on these final regular season pick of the weeks.
Week 17, pick of the week. Dash, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Jacksonville plus 9.5 at Houston. They're both terrible teams. Houston is the better team. They're actually 8-7, which isn't horrible at all. But Case Keenum at quarterback, no chance I'm taking him to win by double digits.
And that's called sticking your neck out, something Jimmy Sella knows nothing about. Jay
Again,
Dash
getting
is going
hated
with
on.
a 3-win team right now. It was his pick of the week.
You're
Pick of
taking
the
a
week.
favorite this week, and I'm taking an underdog. How am I not sticking my neck out?
Well, I took a favorite last week and it didn't work out because you got to stick your neck out. But I did the same thing last week that I'm doing this week. I told you last week, New Orleans versus Atlanta. I said this is the statement game, and this is going to decide the division, and New Orleans are going to show up. And they did nothing of the sort. Atlanta smoked them. So
garbage.
I'm going to jump off that bandwagon, dust off my boots, and get back on the other bandwagon of Atlanta. So I hope I don't curse you guys. I mean, you're my Hard Knocks team. You guys are entertaining all season. I'm going to go with Atlanta -3.
It's a hard knock life.
Taking down Carolina and just saying, hey, we're the best sub 500 division champ ever.
Easy. What do you got?
Well, because I'm here and because they tell me to and ask me to, and I guess I have to
Honor that contract.
ironclad contract. I'm just going to go with Green Bay because Detroit hasn't won there in like 20 years. The line's only 7.5. My sources said that the line should be at least 10.5. I don't know why. Vegas is gambling with me. Well, I'm gonna gamble with them, and I'm just gonna take Green Bay because there's no reason they should win by 10 easily. Starting center for Detroit's out because he's a vigilante thug. He's an all thuggery
Studio gangster.
He's an all thuggery pro this year, and I don't know. I'm holding on to the $30 I have left with my man, and I'm just going to take a solid bet, I think. This year was rough on me.
I think I'm going to go with another underdog, even though Parlay hates me. I'm taking Philly at New York. The Giants have been garbage all year. Eli Manning's garbage all year. The only one on their team that's any good on offense is Odell Beckham Jr.
ODB.
The defense has been trending up. They've had over 20 sacks in the last 3 games, which is pretty impressive. The butt fumble in Philadelphia is a little scary under center. He might just forget where he's at and run straight into his center, drop the ball, maybe kick it backwards. Who knows what's going to happen. But the Giants' run defense isn't very good. They're going to get a heavy dose of LaShawn McCoy and Easy's man, Darren Sproles.
Shady. Love you still.
Philly's going to blow them out.
Follow us on Twitter, Shady.
I don't think the Giants have a chance. Well, that's it for our Week 17 Friday Night Insight. Fans, thanks for sticking with us through the whole season. We're going to keep doing this through the playoffs, so don't go away. You can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Click on that thumbs up on all those videos. We need more thumbs up.
Happy New Year.
Believe it.